So, without further ado, if you'd give a warm welcome to Mr. George Felty.
Well, this is my second time back, and I am always impressed every time I come in here. This is a little special place when I play here, and it just is wonderful. I have a son, 40-year-old son, up in New York, and I showed him earlier the theater, and he was amazed. And you should be proud of this library. A lot of history. And I'm proud to be part of this community. And although I do play in Wausau, St. Paul's, so if you're ever up that way, down on Washington Street, right down from the Grand Theater, Wausau, that's where I play. And we're getting ready. If you're ever coming up to Wausau in April, we're gonna do the Mozart Requiem Mass. Mozart. And it's gonna be at the Grand Theater. I think they're just about sold out on tickets. I am gonna be the keyboardist with the Wausau Symphony. So a lot of good things coming up. And then also, if you're up in Wausau in March 3rd, our organ chapter, which I'm dean of, we're going to do Lenten meditations at Grace UCC Church. We normally have them at St. Paul's, but this time we decided to go with a different church, and sometimes Zion Lutheran, which is the big church up there as well. So April 3rd, and I believe it's going to start, the Lent meditations usually start around 12:15 and about 45 minutes. And but I will be the organist that will open the series. So we got a lot of good things coming up. But I just want to share some of my gifts and some of my skills as a pianist too, besides organ. My piano started when I was 6 years old. I'll be 72 on Monday. So I played, well, practically my whole life and would not trade it for anything. And as long as I'm able to do this, I'm going to make a voice in the world. And you can see all of my recordings on YouTube and now Twitter. So I'm known. But aside from that, I want to get started on the program. And how many of you like jazz? If I can see people. Yes, these lights are a little blinding. But years ago when I was in Washington, D.C., I lived there. I used to play gigs right up from the U.S. Capitol. Senators and congressmen would come to hear me play. This was at the Mozart German Cuisine Restaurant on 16th Street, right up from the U.S. Capitol. And one of my patrons was Ted Koppel from ABC. He came in there one evening and I'm playing, and I had a little jar on top of the keyboard for my tips. Well, he came up and put a $10 bill in that jar and introduced himself. And I've just worked and seen so many good people, musicians. But anyway, aside from all of that, I'm going to open the program, with Ain't Misbehavin'. That's a good old jazz tune. The words are by Andy Rozoff. The music's by Thomas Waller and Harry Brooks. And it's sort of a slow, free type jazz. It's got nice rhythm, steady rhythms, a lot of chromatics. So I'm going to start this program off with Ain't Misbehavin'. So that'll kind of get your foot stomping. Okay. The next one, Bluesette. I love blues. This is by Norman Gimbel, music by Gene Thielemans. And just some observations. It's just in a moderate jazz tempo. It has a lot of accidentals, chromatics, typical jazz. It's just a nice piece to relax you. And that's why I like jazz so much. There's so many idioms of jazz. But this is very appealing to me. So we're going to listen to Bluesette. Thank you. Okay, we'll go to the next one. The girl from Ipanema. Now this one, original words, Vinicius de Moraes, English words by Norman Gimbel, music by Antônio Carlos Jobim. Just some general observations. Some places, triplets, if any of you musicians know what a triplet is. A lot of dissonances, E flat against an F sharp, and all of that good stuff. Nice rhythms, kind of like syncopation, if you know what syncopation is. And then it ends sort of on a lighter mood. So I'm going to play for you The Girl from Ipanema. Thank you. All right. So the next one's going to be God Bless the Child. The words and music are by Arthur Herzog, Jr., and Billie Holiday, if you remember Billie Holiday. This starts out as kind of like a slow, freely rubato, which means rob time, so you don't take it strict time. And again, A lot of dissonance, some dissonances, yep. Then it kind of breaks down towards the middle in octaves. Octaves is 8 notes apart in the right hand, and then you have this little bass figure going on with those octaves. And then when we get towards the end, more mezzo piano, more subdued, more refined, and just a grand piece. So God bless the child. It is a beautiful piece. I love it. God bless the child. Now this next one, Harlem Nocturne. Nocturne is a night piece. And the words here by Dick Rogers, music's by Earl Hagen. And, well, the copyright on this one goes way back to 1940. Of course, that was before I was born. I was born in 51. But it has an international copyright law. Yep. It was renewed. And anyway, it starts out moderately. Kind of has like a little bass line, bass pattern. And then when you kind of get over towards the middle, then we start swinging. We feel it, swing. Like you want to get up and just dance. And yeah, it's got a lot of swing in it. Then it kind of settles down a little bit towards the end. Then we get into these, what we call even eights. Dee da 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 dee da 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 da, kind of like that. Yeah. Rhythm. So I'm going to play for you Harlem Nocturne. Thank you. Next one is I'll Take Romance. I'll Take Romance. This is a nice one. Words are by Oscar Hammerstein II. Music's by Ben Oakland. And this is kind of like a lovey-dovey. And copyright on this, my goodness, this goes back to 1937. Long time. But it was renewed over the years. Well, actually, it was renewed, I think, around 1988 by Dorothy Hammerstein. And Alice Hammerstein Mathis, actually, it was Alice Hammerstein Mathis, William Hammerstein, all these Hammersteins. And it's just kind of a straightforward, moderate, nothing real fancy, no swinging eights, anything like that, mainly just chords. But anyway, I'm going to play for you I'll Take Romance. Thank you very much. Okay, this next one is how insensitive. And this goes back, actually, copyright doesn't go back, well, it was 1963. I was a teenager back then. And but it's been renewed over the years, 1963, 64, and 1988 by Antônio Carlos Jobim and Vinícius de Moraes, Brazil. But the English words are by Norman Gimbel. Original words by Vinícius de Moraes. Starts out moderately slow and dotted rhythm. And a little syncopation in places. But it's in the major. Well, it starts out kind of like in the minor. Then it kind of just takes off. And then you got some seventh chords that you'll hear at the end. So I'm going to do for you now how insensitive. Thank you. How insensitive. Midnight Sun. This one starts out kind of a slower tempo, but you count it in two. Duple, cut time. The words and music are by Lionel Hampton, Sonny Burke, and you remember Johnny Mercer. And kind of starts out with a little scale, kind of like a chromatic scale coming down on the right hand at the beginning. It repeats. And then once you get really into it, just little simple chord harmony, chordal harmony. And then you have all of these dissonances, kind of like at the end, and it just kind of just fades away. So, I'm going to play for you Midnight Sun. Very nice piece. Thank you. And then, I know y'all know this one, I believe Johnny Mathis also recorded a vocal version of this too, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I grew up with old Johnny. And the words by Johnny Burke, music by Errol Garner, and starts out slowly, again freely, sort of like rubato, rock time, slow, steady rhythm. Let's see what else here. And then it has a little free section right before you start getting towards the end. Again, not strict time, but free time. And then I think we have a modulation from 3 flats into 1 sharp towards the end. You'll hear it. So I'm going to play for you Misty. Now, that's one of my all-time favorites. Of course, I always loved to hear Johnny Mathis do it, but man, quite a piece. I don't know how many of you have been to Vermont, but this next one is Moonlight in Vermont. Words and music by John Blackburn and Carl Sustorf. And again, it starts out moderately freely with these triad chords in the right hand and perfect fourths in the left hand coming down with it. Then as it progresses, then we have this da-pum-pum-pum, steady beat. Then it gets on over. From that, you just get into all these different chordal harmonies. And some 8th and 16th note rhythms, in the left hand. Really comes down there. And then a little syncopation. So I'm going to play for you now Moonlight in Vermont. Thank you. Okay. And that concludes the first part. And we're going to have just a little short 10-minute intermission, and then we'll start part 2. Thank you.
Hello. All right, we're going to get started with the second half of this George Felty in concert playing jazz classics. And if you can give another warm welcome to Mr. George Felty.
Yeah, we're getting ready to start this part 2. And yeah, I'm going to open this next part with A Night in Tunisia. Music is by John Dizzy Gillespie and Frank Paparelli. And just again, some observations. It kind of has like a little syncopation to start out, some triplets, a lot of dissonances, like a G sharp against a B natural. And then kind of like there's one place there's no pedal at all, just, the hands and notes. And then we kind of like getting towards the end, we add some pedal, and then some sevenths, and then we have another like a B natural. Of course, this is with B flat in the signature. So, and then it just kind of at the end, kind of like big chords, ends on a augmented seventh, and then a major triad chord. So I think you'll like this. It's A Night in Tunisia. Thank you. A Night in Tunisia. Now this next one, imagine you're out it's dark, nighttime. Quiet nights of quiet stars. And there's English words by Jean Lees. Original words and music by Antônio Carlos Jobim. And it could, a night piece here, it could put you to sleep. It could. And it's got a lot of bass work and some dotted rhythms, and then it just kind of fades out towards the end. So I'm going to play for you Quiet Nights of Quiet Stars. Quiet nights and quiet stars. Now, one of my all-time favorite keyboardists, jazz, was Duke Ellington. And so I'm going to do the Satin Doll. It's by Duke Ellington, Johnny Mercer, and Billie Strayhorn. Starts out with a medium swing, and then a lot of flats, a lot of naturals, a lot of sharps. And syncopation, a lot of accents. And then towards the end, typical Duke Ellington, bum, 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 like that. It'd be nice if we had an orchestra. But anyway, I'm going to play for you Satin Doll. Old Duke. Yep. Now you probably remember Route 66. Of course, I'm from originally from Chicago, and there is a Route 66 from Chicago, and I've been on it. I haven't driven all the way on Route 66 like you're going west or anything like that, but I've been on Route 66. But anyway, this next one is by Bobby Troup, and it's in a modern swing, has some triplet patterns in the right hand, and 4-note chords, like from an A natural in the chord to an A flat, and it's just typical jazz, and then it has kind of a swing to it. which I love in jazz. So I'm going to play for you Route 66. I love it. Route 66. Now we're going to hear Skylark. Words again, Johnny Mercer, music by Hoagie Carmichael. Starts out slowly, but it has a little accelerando towards the end of the cadence. And then sort of a free style to start out, then on tempo. Then it goes into a middle section with a slow, steady beat with chords. And chromaticism. And towards the end, kind of focus on the right hand notes. So I'm going to play for you Skylark. You're a great audience. Thank you. I don't know about you, but I love waltzes. I love to dance waltzes. And, but this is going to be a waltz for Debbie. And the lyric on this is by Gene Lees, music by Bill Evans. It's actually, it's in 3/4 time, but it starts out in 1, 1, 1, like that. Even though it's three beats in the measure. And then it just, you know how waltzes are, it just floats. So I'm going to do for you now, Waltz for Debbie. Thank you. Now this next one, Duke Ellington. And this is called Sweet Mama. It starts out kind of slow. It's not rushed. And we have some triplets in places. And it's in 4 flats to start out. Then one of the cadences, we have like just some 16th notes against quarter notes in the left hand with A flat and B natural dissonances. And it's rather short, but it's good. Sweet Mama. Now the last piece, Misty Morning. This is by Arthur Fishell and Duke Ellington, and it's a short one, but it's a good one. Starts out actually with tetrachords, four notes in the chord in the right hand, just with a kind of like a bum 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 bum, just a walk, kind of like just a simple bass, and then it kind of has a little syncopation, dun, 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 kind of like that. But I'm going to play this Misty Morning. Hope you enjoy it.